going to discuss Ohm's law. For a given conductor at a given temperature of the strength of the electric current passing through it is directly proportional to potential difference across the conductor. Let V be the potential difference applied across the conductor, then I current will be flows through the conductor. According to Ohm's law, current passes through the conductor is directly proportional to potential difference. Here it is the conductor, then we are applying the potential difference by using the battery. Then I current is passes through the conductor. That current is directly proportional to applied potential difference. Then I is equal to 1 by R into V. Here R is the electrical resistance. Then V is equal to I R. Then electrical resistance R is equal to V by I. This is understanding by using triangular diagram, triangular method, that is here V potential here and I R. Here by using this diagram we want to we close the V, we want V is equal to I into R. We close the I, we want to I is equal to V by R, that is V by. Now we want to R, that is V by I. R is equal to V by. What you want, that must be closed. That another that quantity we will get the product or a division of the two quantities. Here Ohm's law is neither a basic law nor a derivable law. It is neither a basic law nor a derivable law. The Ohm's law is a empirical relation. Now limitations of Ohm's law. Of Ohm's law. First limitations. Ohm's law is valid for linear conductors. Linear conductors or ohmic conductors. Ohmic conductors. What are called ohmic conductors? The conductors which obeys Ohm's law, the conductors are called as a ohmic conductors. For ohmic conductors, current versus potential graphs is a straight line which is passing through the horizon. Now here current and potential on x-axis, current on y-axis. Then for linear conductors, the graph in between current and the potential difference across the conductor is a straight line which is passing through the horizon. Now we are finding the slope of this. Slope of the curve, that is, it is the V2, it is the V1, it is the I1, it is the I2. That is delta V, it is the delta I. The slope is equal to y coordinate delta I by delta V. The slope, it's making an angle theta. That's why the slope is a tan theta. It is equal to, slope is equal to tan theta. The tan theta is equal to delta I by delta V. Here we know the formula, Ohm's law, V is equal to IR. 1 by R is equal to V by I. That is I by V. Now here the slope is equal to tan theta, that is equal to delta I by delta V, is represented as 1 by R. 1 by R. Here the slope of I versus V is represents reciprocal of resistance of conductor. Now we can draw the graph in between potential on y-axis and the current is taken along I-axis. That is the graph of potential versus I. Then for a conductors or a linear conductors, the potential versus current graph, which is also represented as IV curve. IV curve is like it is passing through the horizon. Now here the current is I1, here at this point is I2. Now this point is V1 potential, this is the V2 potential. Here it is the delta V and it is the delta I. Now we are finding the slope. Slope is equal to y coordinate. Now on the y axis what we can take? Potential. That's why delta V by delta I. This slope is must be equal to, it's making an angle theta with the x axis, then it is equal to tan theta. Then delta V by delta I is equal to tan theta. Now tan theta is equal to delta V by delta I, that is must be equal to resistance. Here the slope of V versus I graph is represented as a resistance of the conductor. We are clearly observed here. We are taking current is on y-axis and the potential is on x-axis. Then the slope of the curve, slope of the line is represented as reciprocal of resistance. The potential is on y-axis and the current is on x-axis. Then the slope of the straight line, which is represented as resistance of the conductor. Here, why these ohmic conductors we are calling that a linear conductors? Because of the I versus V or V versus I graph, which is represented as a straight line, that is the linear. That's why the conductors we are called as a linear conductors. Examples of linear conductors is the metals. Metals are the linear conductors. Second one, limitation. Ohm's law is not a universal law. Ohm's law is not holds good for the gases, crystal rectifiers, diodes, semiconductor diodes, thermistors and vacuum tubes, etc., and electrolytes and etc. Here the substance or a device which does not hold good the Ohm's law, that devices are thus, that substance are called as a non-ohmic substance, or non-linear substance, or non-linear conductors. Here that means the substance or a device which does not holds good Ohm's law, that means it does not obey Ohm's law. They are called as a non-ohmic substance or non-ohmic conductors, or non-linear substance or non-linear conductors. Here we can see some graphs for diodes, for semiconductor diode, like PN junction diode. For PN junction diode, like you can see it is a forward bias, it is the current is on milliamps, the potential in volts, here potential in volts, and in reverse bias we can take a microamperes, the current is on microamperes. In this graph we can see the different scales and positive and negative scales, but the different currents having the different potentials we can show. But here these currents, this graph is not a straight line, it is a curved lines. That's why they are called as a non-linear conductors. Here non-linear means it is not linear, it is a straight line means it is a linear, but it is not obeys the Ohm's law. That's why it is we are calculating like this, we can draw the graph like this. But the resistance of this type of device we are calculating by using R is equal to delta V by delta I. This formula only. What is the meaning? V is equal to IR. It is for Ohm's law. We understand. We can derive that I is proportional to V. V is equal to IR. We know. V is equal to IR is not a Ohm's law. At a given temperature, the current is directly proportional to potential, is a Ohm's law. But V is equal to IR is not Ohm's law. Keep in your mind. Here, this is for diodes. For we can see that in the different graph for gallium arsenide graph. Here in the gallium arsenide graph, like this, the potential is on it and currents on it. In this graph, it obeys a linear. In this, it obeys non-linear. But in this graph, what we can observe here, for at different potentials, they are having the same current. But what is the linear means? Different currents, it's having the different potentials. But here, say different potentials, but it's having a same current passes through the device. That's why these are called non-ohmic devices, or non-ohmic substances, or non-linear substance or non-linear conductors. For electrolytes, here for electrolytes also does not obey the Ohm's law. Electrolytes are also non-linear conductor. But for copper sulfate solution which can have the copper electrode, it obeys the Ohm's law. Only for copper sulfate solution for copper electrode, then it obeys the Ohm's law. And for ohmic circuits, a circuit which obeys Ohm's law They are called as a ohmic circuits. The circuit does not obey the Ohm's law. That circuit is called as a non-ohmic circuits. Now, third one, graph for good conductors. Good conductors. That is, for low values of V, it's represented as a straight line, then becomes as curve like this. Here potential on y-axis and current is on x-axis. Then this is represented as the graph for good conductors. Here we can observe that at low values of V, the current is directly proportional to potential. That's why it is represented as a straight line up to here, up to this point. But the potential is increases at higher values of potential. The more current will passes through it. Current is I is also increases. At higher values of potential, higher will be the current. Then the conductor will be heated. Then the temperature of the conductor will be increases. When the temperature will be increases, then the conductor does not obey the Ohm's law. Because of we know at the statement at constant temperature. That means temperature remains constant. Temperature is varied means that conductors it does not obey the Ohm's law. Now we can see the graph. The solid line which is represented as a graph for the good conductors. Here from up to at the low values, after the higher values of the potential, the graph is formed as a curve. But the dashed lines which is a straight line, this dashed lines which is represented as the Ohm's law. Resistance. Resistance is denoted by R. The resistance of a specimen of material is the opposition offered by the flow of electric current. Now definition of resistance. It is defined as, the resistance of a conductor is defined as the ratio of the potential difference across the conductor to the current carrying the or current flowing through the conductor. R is equal to V by I. Now SI units of resistance. SI unit. Here we know the SI unit of potential difference is the volt by potential. The units of electric current is ampere. Volt for ampere or ohms. Ohm. That is 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt per ampere. 1 volt per ampere. Here ohm symbolically we are denoted as ohm like this. Ohm is equal to 1 volt per ampere. This is the SI unit of resistance. Now dimensional formula of resistance. Dimensional formula of resistance. Here. Now dimensional formula of resistance. Volt, the dimensional formula of V, potential. Potential means the work per charge. The work done per unit charge. Now work dimensional formula, m power of 1 L square T power of minus 2. by charge. Charge is equal to Q is equal to I into T. Ampere into time. Ampere T. AT. Now potential dimensional formula n power of 1 L square T power of minus 3 A power of minus 1. Now we write the resistance. Dimensional formula of resistance is potential dimensional formula n power of 1 L square T power of minus 3 A power of minus 1 by, now current means ampere. Ampere dimension is A. Then we write m power of 1 L square T power of minus 3 A power of minus 2. This is the dimensional formula of resistance. Now resistance is a scalar quantity. Resistance is a scalar quantity. Now definition of ohm. Ohm definition. Ohm definition. Ohm definition. OH. Ohm definition. Here the resistance of the conductor is said to be 1 ohm. The resistance of the conductor is said to be 1 ohm if the current carrying the conductor is 1 ampere for applying the 1 volt of potential. V for A. This is a ohm definition. Once again, very important. Ohm definition. Here the electrical resistance of the conductor is said to be 1 ohm if 1 volt of potential is applied across the conductor, then the current carrying the conductor is 1 ampere. This is ohm. Now deduction of Ohm's law. We know that the drift velocity of the electrons in a conductor Vd is equal to E by m into tau. That is, here it is a conductor of length is L. The potential we can apply across the conductor is V. Then the electrons will be drifted towards the positive terminal of a battery. Then the current I is carrying to it, or I is flowing through the conductor. Then when we apply the potential difference V across the conductor, the electric field E is set up throughout the conductor. That means the production of electric field in the conductor E is equal to V by L, potential by length of the conductor. Then we substitute Vd is equal to EV by mL into tau. Here when we applied the potential V, then the current I is carrying to it. That means the flow of electrons, drift electrons. That's why the current and the drift velocity, relation between current and the drift velocity, I is equal to NEA Vd. I is equal to NEA into Vd is EV by mL into tau. Here I is equal to, we can be written as I is equal to N E square A, N E square AV tau by mL. Then here I is equal to N E square A tau by mL into V. Then we are cross multiplied. V by I is equal to, I is coming to here, this term go to this, that is mL by NE square A tau. the definition of electrical resistance, the ratio of potential difference across the conductor to the current flowing through the conductor, V by I. It is represented as electrical resistance of conductor. Here R is a constant. R is constant when for a given conductor N number density of electrons, cross sectional area, and the length of the conductor and tau must be a constant, then the electrical resistance of the conductor R is constant. That is V by I is equal to R. Then V is equal to I into R. Here R is a constant, that is we can be written as V is proportional to I or I is proportional to V. This is Ohm's law. This is Ohm's law. Symbols of a resistor. Here the resistance is a physical quantity, but a resistor is a device, electronic device. The symbol of resistor we can denote it in the circuits like this. This is fixed resistor. Now this is the variable resistor. In the circuits we are use this means is a fixed resistor. Like arrow mark on the resistor will be there, means it is called a variable resistor. Now we are going to affecting of the resistance of conductor. Resistance of conductor. Here we know the resistance of the conductor R is equal to ML by NE square A into tau. Here this is the resistance formula. M is the mass of the electron. L is the length of the conductor. N is the number of electrons per unit volume of the conductor. E is the charge of the electron. A is the cross-sectional area of the conductor. Now tau is the relaxation time. Here resistance of a conductor is depends on nature of the material. Nature of the material. It is depends on the nature of the material. Here nature of the material means resistance R is proportional to 1 by N. N is the number of electrons per unit volume. This is number density of electrons, which is depends on the nature of the material. That's why the electrical resistance which is depends on the nature of the material. Now we can be written as R1 by R2 is equal to N2 by N1 for a given temperature, relaxation time, length and area of cross sections are must be a constant. The resistance of a conductor is proportional to 1 by N. N is the number density of the electrons. Now second one is resistance of the conductor, which is depends on temperature, or is depends on temperature. That is, in this term, which one is the belongs to temperature means relaxation time. That is, R is proportional to 1 by tau. Here temperature is increases, the resistance of the conductor is increases. That means the temperature, when we are increasing the temperature, the relaxation time tau is decreases. The relaxation time is decreases, then the resistance of the conductor will be increases. For this is for good conductor. For semiconductors, temperature increases, the resistance of the semiconductors will be decreases. Now we can see the graph for conductors. For conductors, that is here the potential current is on x-axis. This is the first conductor, this is the second conductor. It is, we know, the conductors which obeys the Ohm's law. Now the first conductor is making an angle with the current axis is theta 1. It's making an angle. Second conductor is making an angle with the current is theta 2. Here theta 1 is greater than theta 2. Then first conductor is at T1 temperature, second conductor is at T2 temperature. Here tan theta 1 is greater than tan theta 2. Then the resistance of the slope of the VI curve, the slope of VI curve is tan theta is equal to V by I, that is equal to R, the resistance. That's why the resistance of the first conductor is R1 is greater than R2. Then the temperature T1 is always greater than T2. Because of the resistance of the first conductor is greater than second conductor, the meaning of what? Compulsory, the resistance of the conductor which is depends on the temperature. Which conductor have at a high temperature? That conductors which can have the higher resistance. That's why R1 is greater than R2, then T1 is greater than T2. Now third one, the resistance of conductor is increases with increase in impurities. Impurities are increases, then resistance of conductor will be increases. Impurities of the semiconductor increases, resistance of the semiconductors will be decreases. Now going to fourth one, that is here. For resistance R is proportional to length of the conductor, or is proportional to length of the conductor. We know that formula of R is equal to ml by n e square a into tau. Here m and e square a, given cross section of the conductor at a given temperature, R is directly proportional to n. Then we can be written as R1 by R2 is equal to, we are simply write L1 by L2. Then we can find the errors is given for a small changes of length, for small changes of length, for small changes of length, that is less than 5%, that is delta R by R is equal to delta L by L. The percentage of change in resistance, the delta R by R into 100 is must be equal to delta L by L into 100. It's a very important for NEET point of view. And now going to fifth one. Here the resistance of conductor of length L is constant and n e square tau are constant, then the resistance of a conductor is inversely proportional to area of cross section. R is proportional to 1 by A. Now the area of cross section is A is equal to pi r square. R is the radius of the cross section of a conductor. Then the resistance R is proportional to 1 by A is proportional to 1 by r square. Then we can write that for R1 by R2 is equal to, we can be written A2 by A1, or we will write here that is R2 by R1 whole square. R1 by R2 is equal to A2 by A1, that is equal to R2 by R1 whole square. The cross sectional areas is given, we can use this formula. Maybe they given radius of cross section, we are using R1 by R2 is equal to small r2 by R1 whole square. For small changes of area, area of cross section, that means delta R by R is equal to minus delta A by A. The percentage of change in resistance of change in cross sectional area, that is delta R by R into 100 is equal to minus delta A by A into 100. This is right in terms of radius of cross section. In terms of radius of cross section is delta R by R is equal to minus 2 into delta R by R. Here delta R is the change of radius of cross section, of the conductor. Then percentage of resistance, change in resistance, delta R by R into 100 is equal to minus 2 into delta R by R into 100. Here the resistance of conductor is depends on nature of the material, and the resistance of conductor is depends on temperature of the conductor, and is depends on the impurities, and also depends on their dimensions. Dimensions is like that, the length of the conductor and the area of cross section of the conductor. This is the affecting of factors of the resistance. Conductance of conductor. Conductance of conductor. Conductance of conductor is denoted by G. The conductance of conductor is defined as the reciprocal of the resistance of conductor, that is G is equal to reciprocal means 1 by R. Here we know R formula, R is equal to ml by n e square A tau. The reverse it is called as a conductance G, reciprocal of the resistance, n e square A tau by m into L. Now here units, SI unit of G, Here reciprocal of the resistance is a conductance, unit also ohm inverse. Ohm is the unit of resistance, that is ohm inverse, or it is, we can be written as OHM inverse or mho MHO. That is 1 ohm inverse is equal to 1 Siemens. Siemens is the unit of conductance. Now dimensional formula of G is dimensional formula of resistance inverse, that is m power of -1, L power of -2, T power of 3, A power of 2. This is the dimensional formula of conductance.